Alright guys, this is tip number 1 on the Duro Fleece blog or vlog. Tip number 1 would be to put your kits in these carts. So these carts are cheap and they're very helpful. So what we did was we took each cart, went to Tractor Supply, you can get them Rural King, probably Walmart, probably Lowe's has them, and I bought the carts and we put the little side, these little landscaping carts. They are very handy, and we don't have any now because they're filled up, but we would take a little bucket full of foam, an old fastener, an old Duralast fastener bucket, and wire it right there. And we were even, when we wanted to save a tip, we would just squirt into that bucket and we didn't have to make a mess on the roof. But these carts are basically a disposable part of the job. If you get a longer life out of them, that's fine, but these are about 79 bucks and you can wheel these carts everywhere. They are very handy and they will make you fast and they will save your guys from dragging boxes around. It almost makes it a one-man job. One guy can wheel his hose and pull his hose and his cart, and you will move much faster with these little carts. And if they get covered in foam, it doesn't matter because they're 79 bucks a piece. If you get use after them after this, that's just a bonus. But during these big Duro Fleece jobs with the Board Max and the CR20, these carts are very helpful. All right guys, tip number 2 would be to run multiple kits. So on this particular job, as you can see, we've got a bunch of carts here. So we were running 65-foot long, 10 by 65, 80 mil Duro Fleece on this job, and we were running 4 CR20s on this thing, on that 65 foot. So we get 4 guys spraying, and it just makes the sheets go out fast. We've done a number of Duro Fleece jobs. None of them have been this large, but in the past we've kind of tried to conserve the foam and didn't open up kits until we needed them. This job we took a different approach. We opened up kits and we ran, the foam is the foam, we're gonna use it or we're not gonna use it. So instead of having 2 guys spray a 65 footer, we put 4 guys on a 65 footer, and it really sped up the production. We got the splatter method out much faster, got the sheet pushed in, and then got the next sheet out. And you'll have a little bit of inconsistency on you get 4 guys, they're not all going to spray identical, but you can get 4 guys tuned in to be within the range that you need, and it works, and it's fast, and it's a labor saving. So the labor that you save will more than pay for the carts. All right guys, tip number 3 on these big Duro Fleece jobs, I would say a very important part of the job is staging of your material. So what we did on this particular job was we staged our material in zones where we were gonna come off like 30 by 90 sections. That's what we were gonna bite off at a time. So we had bunks of ISO every 30 out and then down the roof as we used them. So we had our square footage mapped out. We laid the roof out. So when we staged the roof, and then we put foam kits in the appropriate spots, we weren't moving the material around to tear off. So in our first zone, we identified where we were gonna start. We didn't stage that area, we kept it open. So day 1, we walked in, we started tearing off an open area where we had not stored any material, and then we pulled from the side, and that material that we pulled left the next day's zone open. So every day when we roofed this zone in, it opened up our next zone, and we didn't double handle any kind of material. So really pay attention to your staging. Put the material where you need it, take the square footage, map it out, no matter what size your building is, map out where you're gonna use, find out your starting point, and then stage the material in an appropriate fashion, and you'll save yourself a ton of time and money. And then when you're doing these big tear-offs, you're spending your time tearing off and putting this roof back on, not moving a bunch of material around. You can do that on days when it's gonna rain or 40% chance of rain when you're not tearing off. You can move things around and get it where you want. But when the sun's out, guns out, you're ready to rock, you got your material where you want it, and you're not double handling, you get more roofing out per day. All right guys, tip number 4 on these big Duro Fleece jobs, rolling these fleece back sheets out with the CR20. I highly recommend get you a 150-pound roller. I bought this on Big Rock Supply. It's like 700 bucks. They'll give you free shipping to your door in about a day. This thing rolls easy. It's so much better than some little wimpy roller, 75-pound roller. This thing like lays the smack down on these roofs. These sheets will go out quick and fast, and you'll be able to put the weight that you need on them to really push into that foam, especially on these days where, even though we had 4 guys spraying, when it's 100 degrees out here up on this roof and it's full sun, no shade anywhere, and you're spraying that CR20, you want to get that sheet pushed into it. And I feel like these heavier rollers, if you have the sheet open for longer or you have real quick dry times that day, you want to get that on. I think the extra weight really helps to smash the CR20 down into the fleece material. So go ahead and buy you one of these big rollers. It's got 4 different things. It turns easy. It's a very good thing to have. That'd be my tip. Spend the money. It'll save you back on labor, and it'll make your roof look a lot better. You'll be able to really get that fleece pushed down into the adhesive, and you'll get a good look to your roof right off the bat. I mean, it's going to do a good job for you. All right, guys, my last tip for these big Duro Fleece jobs, we're running 10-foot rolls, and it's kind of self-explanatory. A lot of guys probably understand it, but maybe not. Maybe this tip will help you. What we did on our 10-foot sheet, especially where we're going to start, we laid out a 10-foot sheet, and we folded back our edge, and we sprayed down the first 5 foot of that. We butterflied it back, and then we flipped that back in, rolled it, and then we're done. Okay, so then we've got our first 10 foot out. Then we rolled out another sheet, our next 10 footer, got it where we wanted, and when we had them overlapped, got the overlap, everything lined up, then we fold them back. So we exposed 10 foot of zone on the deck to spray. So we never sprayed 5 foot of a 10-foot sheet. We always sprayed 5 foot of this sheet and 5 foot of this sheet. So we spray, that's why we get the 4 kits going. We get a lot of foam out on the deck, then we roll this one back in and roll that, and then get guys rolling. And while the guys are rolling in those sheets there, the guys that were foaming burn a tip, they throw it down, they get the next sheet out and start this. So you can butterfly, and you're always doing 10 by 65 every time. You're never doing 5s because it's just not productive. We're always laying another sheet on and peeling this sheet back, peeling this open, and butterflying them out and getting 10 foot each time. It's just 5 on this sheet and 5 on this sheet. And that worked out really good. And then I guess the last tip, or in addition to this tip, would be when you butterfly and you spray this whole zone with foam, lay this sheet in. If you're going that way on the roof, this sheet's laid over, roll this sheet first, because the guys that need to go with this next sheet, they need to pull this back and butterfly it. So if you start rolling on this sheet, on this side, you're gonna hold up your whole crew. So when you butterfly, this one goes under, this one goes over, this one's getting ready to get peeled back this way. Roll this side first so that your guys can hurry up, pull that side back and keep going on it. And that way, when they're putting out their foam, your guy rolling jumps to the other side. It doesn't have to be butterflied. It's the last part of the other sheet. And that's another little tip to keep your crew moving, so you don't have guys standing around watching, waiting for a guy to roll. If you roll that one first and butterfly them out, it'll be a smooth process, and you get a lot of sheets out per day, because the Duro Fleece is a pretty fast product.